So once again we are here to have the assessment. As you all know, we have already covered the mouth part. So now we are going for the neck part of the patient. Okay. So in the neck, generally we have to make the patients extend the neck like this, and we have to generally overlook the structure of the neck. Whether there is any enlargement, whether there is any abnormal bulge, you can see come here forward. Okay. So any kind of enlargement, any bulge or any lesion or scar, anything you are able to see, or any mass you are able to see in this region, that you have to inspect for. Okay, so that means you are not able to see anything. So you can see these are your sternocleidomastoid muscle. So during the class, as I told you, that from just backside of your sternocleidomastoid muscle, there is the innervation of your sternocleidomastoid muscle. So you can see this is the best a muscle you can see here, that is starting from the mastoid muscle and it is ending up to the cervical region. In the same here you can see that is your next sternocleidomastoid muscle of the left side. So starting from the mastoid to the cervical region. Okay, so this is your two a pair of the muscles which is making the anterior a triangle like this. This is the anterior triangle, and this they are making the posterior triangle. Okay, then this much when the patient a person is going to bend the neck. Okay, so here you can see the muscle which is present, which is making the head little bit you can say when we are turning the face like this, when we are hyperextending, so this muscle is contracting, that is your trapezius muscle. So as I already told you, the back muscle name is trapezius and this muscle name is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, so all the a function of the neck or everything we can do by the neck is due to these two muscles only. Okay, the pair of sternocleidomastoid muscle and the pair of trapezius muscle. Okay, so how I told you to check the a function of or muscle strength of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. First I'll tell you the function of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, so can you bend your tongue a head to forward? Okay, so this time your sternocleidomastoid muscles are properly contracted so that they can support your head to like this. Can you turn your head left and right to me? Okay, so that means both side, when you saw when the Dilna is turning the face like this, so you can see this is the proper a muscle you can see that is helping the head to turn like this. Now again you can see here, you can see again this muscle. So that means the function of the sternocleidomastoid muscle is to bend the head like this and turn the face like this. Okay, so these are the function of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Then this next muscle of the trapezius muscle, the function is when the this girl is extending the head like this. So this time this trapezius muscles are helping the neck to hyperextend it. Okay, so this is the function of trapezius muscle. Okay, so now as I told you, we will check the muscle strength of the patient. Okay, so now you can see I will resist you like this, that you have to turn your face like this. Okay, you have to turn like this, but I will not let you. I will put some pressure, but you have to turn. Okay, so that means even with my resistance, even I have holded the face very tightly, but still she was able to turn it like this. Okay, so that means the patient's strength of the sternocleidomastoid muscle is perfect. Okay, then you can again do that. If I'm saying you to bend the face like this, and I am resisting it, but you have to look down. Okay, can you see that? So even with my resistance, she is able to put her face or the neck down. So that means sternocleidomastoid muscle is perfectly fine. Okay, now I have to check for the trapezius muscle strength. So as you all know, these are the trapezius muscle. I'll try to pull them down, but you have to pull it up. You have to take your shoulders up. Okay, do it. Okay, so that means when I'm pulling, I am pulling and she is still going to pull the shoulders up. So that means her trapezius muscle strength is perfectly fine. Okay, so these are the functions of sterno and the trapezius muscle. Okay, then now what you are going to do, you are going to palpate the patient's neck area for any kind of abnormal a bulge or abnormal masses present in this neck area. Okay, so you can see that if I'm are you able to feel any pain in this area when I'm palpating? No. So that means when I'm going to palpate the chin area, the whole neck region of the patient, so patient is not feeling any kind of pain. So that means patient is not having any abnormal bulge, there is no lesion, there is no extra mass. Okay, so that means there is no abnormal thing in the neck region. And you have to see for the enlargement of the thyroid gland, you have to see for the deviation of the trachea. So now one by one what we are going to do, first we will inspect for the lymph nodes, then I will tell you about the trachea and how to locate the a thyroid gland. Okay, so as I told you, I have already told you about the lymph nodes. So now we are going to check the lymph nodes of the patient. Just little bit turn the patient's head like this, and you have already known that we are going to use the like finger pads of the fingers, so that we can palpate it. So you can see what area is this. You all know this is the preauricular region of the patient. So these are the preauricular lymph nodes of the patient. Okay, we have to palpate it like this so that we can feel any abnormal or any bulge. Okay, whether you're feeling pain. Okay, so these are the preauricular lymph nodes. Okay, so these are the preauricular lymph nodes of the patient. So I'm going to palpate whether you're feeling pain. No. Okay, so when I'm palpating it like this, if the patient is not feeling any pain, that means there is no infection or no tenderness. Okay, so then I'm going for the occipital lymph nodes. Okay, so occipital lymph nodes means the back of the head. We have to palpate it for the lymph nodes whether you're feeling pain. No. Okay, so there is no pain. So then we are going for the submental lymph nodes. So we can come here like this and we have to palpate it like this in the rotatory motion. Okay, so these are the submental lymph nodes. Okay, so whether you're feeling pain. No. Okay, so then we have to go for the submandibular. Okay, this is the submandibular jaw. So here we have to palpate for the lymph nodes. Okay, so whether you're feeling pain. No. Okay, so if there is no pain, so we have to come for the posterior cervical lymph node. So here we are going to palpate in both sides. We can palpate. Okay, so you're feeling pain. No. In the rotatory motion we have to palpate for that. Okay, then next is we are having the after this you can say superficial, we are having the you can say here the supraclavicular lymph nodes. Okay, so here nearby the clavicle region we have to palpate these two. Okay, so if there is whether there is any pain or something, so you have to palpate it like this, so that means there is no pain. Okay, so this is your posterior cervical region, and this is your this is the a superficial you can say the cervical nodes, and here we are going to have the posterior cervical lymph nodes. Okay, we have to palpate it like this, and if the patient is having no pain, so that means the patient's lymph node is not inflamed, there is no tenderness. Okay, so if the patient is feeling any pain in these lymph nodes area, so that means patient is having some infection in that area, or there is some kind of infection inside going on, so that due to that the reaction has came on the lymph nodes. Okay, so with this you are going to use the rotatory motion, and you are going to use the finger pads, and you are going to assess them. Okay, so now after the lymph nodes assessment, what you are going to do, BSc first year, you are going to assess for the thyroid gland and the trachea. Okay, so now you are going to assess for the trachea. So you are little bit going to have the a head tilted like this, so you can feel the trachea point here. Okay, so you can see this midline a point of the trachea, and you are going to use the index finger. Okay, so you are going to see for the any deviation of the trachea, whether it is deviated here or here. Okay, so what you can do, you can use this index finger and you can palpate this trachea area. Okay, so now what you can do, you can go like this and you can go like this. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to feel any kind of abnormal you can say mass or any abnormal lesion area or any asymmetrical area is there, I am going to palpate it. Okay, that means it is not deviated. Either you can use two fingers to feel it, but the best thing is to use your index finger and move it side by side so that you can see for the trachea. Okay, so whether you're feeling any pain while I'm pressing like this, so that means there is no bulge, there is no tenderness. So with this we will be able to assess the trachea. Okay, so like this we are going to assess the trachea. Okay, so it is not deviated, because in some respiratory problems or in some thorax related problems, the trachea will be deviated to one side or the other side. So it should be always midline. Okay, and it should be always felt like this, to press your skin like a finger, a skin like this, so that we can feel any abnormal mass in this area. Okay, so that's how you are going to assess the trachea. Now after that we are going to assess very important point, that is the thyroid gland. So as you all know, BSc first year, thyroid gland is having the you can say two a gland thing. We are having two glands will be there, and in middle the two lobes, there are two lobes like this, which is attached with the isthmus. In the center it will be attached with the isthmus, that you all know. Okay, so we are going to inspect that how it is moving. So as I told you that that is best being assessed when the patient is swallowing something. So can you swallow something for me? And now? Okay, so when suddenly you have seen that swallowing reflex, so that time you saw that the thyroid gland moved up and down. Can you sip one more time? Okay, can you see that? Oh, see everyone, how this gland is little bit going up and down, so that we have to inspect. Okay, with the eyes we have inspected right now. Okay, and now I'll be showing you by how to assess it. Okay, so this was we have to see when the patient swallowed something. Now you can swallow your saliva also. See how this gland is going up and down, that you have to notice. Okay, then there are two approaches how we have to assess the thyroid gland. Okay, one is the anterior approach, which I can do right from here, and one is posterior approach. Okay, so I'll show you how to perform the thyroid gland from the anterior view. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm going to displace the thyroid gland from here. Okay, little bit flex you have to do. Okay, so I'm going to displace it, and from the other side I'm going to palpate it. Okay, that means with my fingers I can palpate it. Okay, so that is the two lobes I can feel, and in between the isthmus I can feel that. Okay, so that is with this right hand I'm going to displace the you can say thyroid gland, and from other side I'm going to palpate it. Okay, so like this I'm going to do it. Okay, so that is the anterior approach. Then the posterior approach means I am going backside of the patient, and this is my you can say left hand this one and right hand this one. So with the right hand I'm going to displace that a thyroid gland, and with the other hands I'm going to palpate it. So that means it is telling me that this is the prominence of the thyroid gland. Okay, so like this I'm going to palpate it on the patient, right? So like that we have to do. Number first, we have done what? We have done it with the anterior view, we have displaced the thyroid gland and we have palpated like this, and then from the back side same we can do. Okay, one is by in the front of the patient, and one by from the back side of the patient. Okay, so that's how we can do. And once more I will be showing you. Just take one sip for me and just assess that. See how this gland moved up and down. Okay, that you have to see for. Okay, because if the gland is not moving up and down, that means there is some problem, or there is some anatomical problem in that area, or due to some mass, due to some abnormal lump, the trachea or the thyroid gland a trachea is deviated to the other side. So with that the thyroid gland will also be deviated. Okay, so that we have to check for. So that's how we are going to check. Okay, so as I already told you BSc first year, that we have to look for the muscle strength of these muscles, and the functions of the muscles we have to assess. Then we have to assess for the lymph nodes. Okay, and then we have to go for the trachea, and we have to go for the thyroid gland. Okay, so once these are done, so now it's very important thing to palpate a very important vessel in the neck, that is your carotid artery, right? So we are having a prominence, that is your sternocleidomastoid muscle, right? This is your sternocleidomastoid muscle. So just superficially you will be able to find the carotid artery. Okay, but before that I want to tell you one very important point, that you are never going to palpate these both arteries together. Why? Because this is the only blood supply to your brain. If you are pressing both sides together, so what is going to happen? You are going to occlude the blood vessel to the brain of the patient. Okay, so always make this angle, make the patient to turn like this, and make the angle here, and then this sternocleidomastoid muscle, and just between the trachea and this you will be having your carotid artery. Okay, so with hand you can palpate and you can see. Okay, so it's +2. So always you have to tell that how is the consistency of the artery, that whether it is +1, +2, as I told you. +1 means the artery is very feeble, the pulse is very weak. Okay, but in this it's already +2. That means it's properly nicely it is throbbing. Okay, so same in the other side we can make the angle. We can see this a sternocleidomastoid muscle, and we can little bit turn the patient's face like this, and we can palpate it like this. Yeah, it's nice. And 2+. Okay, so like this we have to palpate it, and then now in the last we are going to have the auscultation. Okay, as you all know, we are going to auscultate for the Brutz. As I already told you, Brutz we have to assess. That means when there is any problem in the blood vessels, okay, in the blood flow, when there is any problem, so you will be able to hear a Brutz, that is abnormal sound of the blood flow. But normally you are going to hear a swooshing sound. That means the blood is passing from the big vessel. Okay, so you are going to wear the glove, you are going to wear the stethoscope, and you are going to use the diaphragm part. Okay, so you are going to place it on the patient's neck area, and you are going to palpate it. As you all know, this is the a sternocleidomastoid muscle, and you can keep it like this. Yeah, it's very nice. It's 2+ rating, and again here also we have to assess. You have to take deep breath. Can you take deep breath and lose it and hold on? Okay, so I forgot to mention you one point, that whenever you have to check for any abnormal Brutz, you have to tell the patient to take breath and lose it and then hold it. Okay, once again, can you take deep breath and lose and hold? Stop. Yeah, very nice. Here also once again, take deep breath and lose. Hold. Okay. So like this, you are going to hear the bruits of the like a carotid artery if it is there. So you have to mention that what kind of sound you're able to hear. So right now the patient is having 2+ grading of the pulse, and it was nicely throbbing kind of like consistency you will be able to hear. Okay. So that's how you're going to do the next assessment. So now stay tuned for the next assessment which we are going to place on the chest region. Okay. Thank you so much.